Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I want to talk about something that I recently discovered, which was absolutely shocking to me. And that is that gay men are barred. They're banned by the FDA in the US from donating sperm. So if I were to go into a sperm bank tomorrow and I fill out their questionnaire and I'm donating sperm for whatever reason, I'm looking to make money, I care about providing a sample to a couple who is having a hard time conceiving, and I want to donate my own DNA for that purpose, right? To create offspring, I would be disqualified. They would not consider me eligible to do so. Regardless of my health and my genetics, I would not be able. The FDA regulation around this is cleverly written to basically include the vast majority of gay men. And that exact wording is here on the screen, that essentially, if a man has had sex with another man in the past 5 years, he is not eligible to donate sperm. Now, I found this crazy because we live in the modern era, right? There's modern science, modern technology. It's not like at these institutions, at sperm banks, they just grab your sample and hand it over, to the final party, to a couple who's trying to conceive. They don't literally give them, a bottle of your sperm. Like, there's testing involved. There's science behind the process where they have to check for a variety of things, right? Diseases, genetic viability, and so on. So the idea of this rule that a man who has had sex with another man in the past 5 years, regardless of his health, regardless of if it's a monogamous relationship, it feels stigma-coded to me. Another similar thing, which is blood donations. And I made a video about this a long time ago. I want to say the first year of my channel, so you don't have to go back to see it. I cringe at all the super old videos on my channel. But I'll give you the clip notes here. For the longest time, similar thing, the FDA did not let gay men donate blood. And obviously blood donations are even more significant and vital to society's needs, right? I mean, of course, couples who are trying to conceive, IVF, like that's important. But blood donations, if somebody needs a blood donation, they are struggling with their health. They might be on their deathbed. Like, it's pretty serious. So the idea of gay men being banned from that as well, to me, is equally, it feels homophobic to me. However, the blood donation regulation as it pertains to gay men has a very different history and evolution. So let me give you the quick history run of that. Now, in the 1980s, when HIV and AIDS was on full blast as an epidemic and people were terrified, and science was also not where it is today, gay men had a lifetime permanent ban on donating blood. So even if you were HIV negative in a monogamous relationship, or you had sex once with a guy 20 years ago, and again, you're presumably STD free, HIV negative, you couldn't donate blood. In 2015, that permanent ban switched over to a 1-year rule. So similarly to how with sperm banks or donating sperm, it's a 5-year rule. You can't have sex with a man in the previous 5 years. In 2015, with blood donations, there was a 1-year ban. So if you've had sex with a guy in the past year, you can't donate blood. Now again, that restricts a lot of gay men, a good portion of the gay population, from donating blood, regardless of their health and HIV status. Now in 2023, this rule was completely revolutionized when the FDA decided, all right, it's time for an update. And so since 2023, at the time that I'm making this video, the FDA now only assesses somebody's viability, or eligibility rather, for donating blood based on the previous 3 months of their sexual history. The language around this regulation is way less stigmatized in that it's across the board. Doesn't matter if you identify as gay, doesn't matter if you're a man who has had sex with a man. That's always the phrase that they use because Otherwise, if they say gay, there's all these people who think they're not gay even though they sleep with men. So across the board, straight, gay, whatever, they look at everybody's previous 3 months of sexual history. This obviously makes a lot more sense, right? Who cares about whether you're gay or you're a guy who's fooled around with guys if you're the straightest person on earth and you're so promiscuous without protection that you're skyrocketing your chances of having an STD or being HIV positive, right? It doesn't matter who you sleep with, it matters what your sexual activity is like in terms of potentially compromising a blood sample. In the same way that the blood donation regulations around this have evolved over time, people say that the FDA will update its regulation for sperm donations as well. The question is, why hasn't that happened yet? You can understand in the 80s, AIDS was a new thing. It was really frightening. The technology was different. The science was different behind testing. That maybe it just wasn't even worth the risk. False negatives, I guess, was what they were trying to avoid, meaning false HIV negative results. They wanted to avoid that with blood donations. But the thing is, when you really analyze it, you're like, why is it only targeting gay men still in the modern era, in the 21st century? You could claim it's about the safety and the health of these donations. But again, then on the sperm donation front, it doesn't feel like it makes total sense that there's this focus on gay men's sexual behavior. In my opinion, this feels like an example of stigma towards gay people or just LGBT people in general that still is baked into our society in terms of regulations. And the sad part is, we're talking about a regulation that could change somebody's life, right? We're talking about health here and reproduction. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Did you know about this? Did you know this rule exists for sperm donations? Did you know that the blood donations with the FDA have a history of this? I'm so curious what you think. Let me know.